I spent years trapped in £27,000 of debt. Today, I've saved over £50,000. And the thing that changed my finances wasn't earning more money, it was what I stopped buying. Because every unnecessary purchase was stealing money from the life I actually wanted. Once I realized that, saving money stopped feeling like sacrifice and started feeling like freedom. So let's start with the one thing almost everyone is overpaying for. Number one, overinflated groceries. If you've been grocery shopping recently, you probably had the same thought I did. Why is this so expensive? Food prices are honestly really high right now. Groceries that used to cost £40 are now over 60. But I realized something surprising. I wasn't just paying more because of inflation. I was paying more because of where I was shopping. So I had to switch it up. Now I buy most of my basics from Aldi. Then I'll get certain fresh items like fruit and vegetables from Sainsbury's. And honestly, it saved me so much money without reducing the quality of my food. Because eventually I realized a lot of grocery spending is branding and convenience, not quality. And in this economy, being intentional with food shopping really matters. Because overspending by £20 to £30 a week might not feel like much, but over a year, that's money that could have gone towards your savings, investments, or paying off debt. But here's what surprised me. The biggest leaks in my budget weren't the expensive purchases, they were the small ones I barely noticed. Number two, daily conveniences. One of the biggest money leaks for me was constantly paying for convenience. Takeaways because I didn't feel like cooking. Ubers because I was running late, coffee because I needed a treat. And individually, none of it felt expensive. I was like, it's only £20. But over time, those tiny purchases were quietly draining hundreds from my budget every month. And honestly, a lot of the time I wasn't paying for convenience. I was paying for poor planning. So I had to make some changes. Now I go grocery shopping every Sunday. I meal prep for the week and I plan my travel better. Don't get me wrong, I still enjoy treats, but I do it intentionally instead of emotionally. Because convenience is great until it starts stealing your financial progress. But eventually I realized convenience wasn't my biggest problem. It was the way I was paying for it. Number three, buy now, pay later. I stopped normalizing debt for non-emergencies because full easy payments still means you're spending money you don't currently have. And these apps make overspending feel emotionally disconnected. Our brains feel less pain when we delay paying for something, which is exactly why buy now, pay later is so effective. You don't feel the purchase. So I made a rule. If I can't comfortably afford to buy something in cash, I leave it. And honestly, that mindset shift made me way more intentional with my money because financial peace is hard to build when you're constantly borrowing from your future self. But even after I stopped borrowing, I still found ways to spend money I didn't actually need to spend. Number four, emotional treats. This one is so easy to overlook because individually, these purchases felt harmless. Dessert while watching Netflix, random Amazon purchases after stressful days, little pick-me-ups, but together, they were costing me hundreds every month. And eventually I realized a lot of my spending wasn't intentional, it was emotional. I was spending because I was stressed, tired, bored, overwhelmed. We naturally look for quick dopamine when we're stressed. That's why emotional spending feels so good in the moment, even when we regret it later. So now, before buying something, I pause and ask myself, do I actually want this or do I just want comfort right now? And honestly, that question alone has saved me so much money and it's helped me find other ways to deal with my emotions. But there was one spending habit that looked responsible yet quietly kept me stuck for years. Number five, lifestyle upgrades. The next thing I stopped buying was constant lifestyle upgrades because one of the fastest ways to stay broke is increasing your spending every time your income increases. You get a raise and suddenly you feel like you need a nicer apartment, a better car, more expensive holidays, and suddenly you're earning more money, but your bank account looks exactly the same. This habit is what actually got me into debt. So when I finally paid it off, I made a promise to myself. Every time my income increased, I'd save and invest more instead of upgrading my lifestyle. And that one decision changed my finances more than almost anything else because wealth is usually built quietly in the gap between what you earn and what you spend. But then I realized something else. I wasn't just upgrading my lifestyle, I was paying premium prices for things I wasn't even fully using. Number six, expensive gym memberships. I used to pay around £80 a month for a gym membership, and to be honest, I barely used half of the stuff included. So after the pandemic, I cancelled it. I bought some basic equipment and started working out at home instead. Now, I literally walk into my living room and exercise. No commute, no waiting for machines, no expensive monthly contract. I still occasionally go to yoga classes because I genuinely enjoy them, but overall, I spend a fraction of what I used to. And the biggest lesson is, you do not need luxury to get results. Money follows the same rule as fitness. Consistency matters more than aesthetics. But outside the gym, I was still spending money trying to impress people I barely knew. Number seven, status items. Spending money on designer items is one of the biggest financial illusions because a lot of people look rich while being broke behind the scenes. And I know this because I used to do it too. I remember buying a pair of Gucci boots years ago. People complimented them, but realistically, I couldn't afford them and I barely wore them, and now they're sitting in the back of my wardrobe. Eventually I realized I didn't really want the boots. I wanted the feeling attached to them. The status, validation, success. Social comparison is powerful, but it's also expensive. So I had to change my money mindset. Now, I care way more about quality, versatility, and long-term value than impressing strangers. Because real wealth isn't about looking rich, it's about having freedom behind the scenes. But social media found an even smarter way to encourage me to spend more money. Number 8, chasing aesthetics. This one is so easy to fall into online. The daily matcha, the aesthetic Pilates studio, the wellness supplements, the perfectly curated routines. And listen, there's nothing wrong with romanticizing your life. But what I realized is a lot of it wasn't really about wellness. It was about image, about trying to become that girl. But financially, that girl and that woman are very different because that woman, she prioritizes her future self. She understands delayed gratification. And honestly, delayed gratification is much more of a flex than looking aesthetic online. So now I focus on simple habits that genuinely improve my life but don't cost a lot. Things like walking, quality sleep, whole foods, because real wellness should enrich your life, not drain your bank account. But eventually I realized social media wasn't just selling me a lifestyle, it was selling me products too. Number 9, trendy beauty products. I also stopped constantly buying trendy beauty products because beauty marketing is honestly very convincing. It works by making us feel like we're one purchase away from becoming a better version of ourselves. Every week there's a new serum, a new holy grail, a new product everyone swears changed their skin. And the comments are always full of people saying, added to cart. And I used to fall for it all the time. But eventually I realized I was buying products chasing a fantasy result instead of learning what actually works for my skin. So now my routine is very simple. I buy products based on my actual needs, not because something went viral online. And ironically, my skin improved more once I stopped over consuming. Less products, less clutter, less wasted money. But there was one final category where I was wasting money and I convinced myself it was actually helping me. Number 10, overpriced productivity. Out of all things productivity, planning, journaling, and organization. I'm type A, so it's my vibe. But at one point I had gratitude journals, goal journals, planners, even the 5-minute journal. But I realized I was buying the idea of being organized more than actually being organized. The 5-minute journal alone costs around £50 a year, which sounds small until you realize it's one of 5 different journals sitting on your shelf. So I simplified everything. I used Notion for planning and a plain notebook for everything else. That's it. Because productivity should simplify your life, not become another expensive aesthetic. Looking back, none of those purchases ruined my finances on their own, but together, they kept me from building the life I actually wanted. The biggest thing that changed my finances wasn't earning more money, it was becoming intentional with where every pound was going. Because real wealth isn't built through one big decision, it's built through hundreds of small ones, and that's exactly what changed my life. So I'd love to know, what's one thing you've stopped buying that's genuinely improved your finances? Let me know in the comments. And if this video made you realize how many normal habits are draining your money, watch this video next where I break down the middle class habits that keep people stuck financially for years. That video will completely change the way you think about money. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.